Francesco Totti's career is remarkable for both its longevity and quality. In 616 Serie A appearances for Roma since 92-93, he has so far scored 250 goals, second only to Silvio Piola in the league's all-time list. He has scored the most goals and played the most games for Roma in the club's history, and is the youngest ever Serie A captain. He has won the Scudetto, finished as a runner-up 8 times, and won the Coppa Italia twice and the Supercoppa Italiana twice. He is loved by fans of the Giallorossi as a symbol of the club's recent successes and as a Roma fan turned player. Totti has always been a primarily creative player, mostly wearing the number 10 jersey, but this is manifested tactically in a variety of interesting ways under a series of managers. Though Totti made his debut as a 16-year-old towards the end of the 92-93 season and developed under Carlo Mazzoni in the next 2 seasons, it was under Zdenek Zeman that he really came to prominence, moving from a second striker role into a left-wing, left-forward berth in Zeman's 4-3-3. Zeman's teams are notorious for their attacking intensity and high pressing, and it was in this period that Totti developed not just as a creator, but physically to cope with the demands of Zeman's style. The 4-3-3 played almost as a 2-5-3, with fullbacks pushed very high, which allowed Totti to drift inside and shoot or pass on his favoured right foot. He also dropped deeper, a feature of his play that would come to define him, linking attack and midfield with a combination of passing ability and vision that made him the perfect playmaker or trequartista. In the 2000-01 season, Roma won their 3rd Scudetto under Fabio Capello, with Totti, by then the club captain, instrumental. Capello's Roma lined up in a 3-4-1-2 with Gabriele Batistuta and another striker, either Vincenzo Montella, an out-and-out poacher, or Marco Del Vecchio, more of a defensive forward, playing ahead of Totti. The central midfield of Emerson and Tomasi were tough, destructive players, and width was provided by wing-backs Vincent Candela and Cafu ahead of a back 3. This effectively created a 7+3, 1 unit defensive and tasked with winning the ball and through the wing-backs transitioning it forwards, and 1 unit prompted by Totti, tasked with scoring. Totti was the link, dropping into space to collect the ball from wide or deep before linking with the forwards and either feeding the ball through or passing and moving into space. Totti's creativity, behind strikers who could score or hold up the ball to play him in, made Roma irresistible despite Capello's functional approach. Totti's next shift came between 2005 and 2007, which saw Luciano Spalletti develop a 4-2-3-1 that became a 4-6-0 in 2006-07, when injuries forced the Roma boss to play his creative playmaker up front, but unconventionally. In a move that heralded various other European sides playing without an out-and-out striker, Spalletti deployed Totti between the lines in the number 10 slot, but without a striker ahead of him, effectively as a false 9. Again, Roma had 2 units, a defensive and offensive, but in this instance it was a defensive 5, a back 4 plus a sitting midfielder, Daniele De Rossi, playing behind an offensive 5, with 4 nominal midfielders and Totti. Totti would drop into space and any of the midfielders would drive ahead of him, or cut inside from wide, or Totti himself would be the side's attacking focal point, but starting from a more withdrawn position. The effect was to create a rotating, fluid front 5 that could attack from all directions and leave the opposition struggling to mark or arrange themselves defensively. The system didn't always work, but when it did, it was Totti's flexibility and skill that allowed it to. Totti also won 58 caps for Italy, scoring 9 goals. This international career saw Totti win the 2006 World Cup, playing in a 4-4-2 as a withdrawn striker behind Luca Toni, with the midfield axis of Andrea Pirlo and Gennaro Gattuso behind him. This allowed Italy to field 2 playmakers, 1 forward and 1 deep, with Gattuso's energy and screening carrying both. Again, Totti's movement, his ability to drift into space and find time to pick a pass or carry the ball forward, supported by a hard-working midfielder, was integral to Italian success in the tournament. Francesco Totti's career shows how a player can, over time and under different coaches, learn to play what is effectively one role, that of the team's primary creative force. in different ways and with different systems. Totti's ability was harnessed in various ways by Zeman, Capello, Spalletti and others, but his range of skills, his ability to score and assist, is the core of everything good that Roma have done since the mid-1990s. The King of Rome will be missed.